Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's BarbMeetsWorld, and we're back to discuss Married to Medicine Season 12, Episode 2, Makeup and Breakups, y'all. But before we get into the episode, I need you guys to hit the like button because it helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourselves. Also, while you're at it, go on ahead, hit the subscription button. If you're not currently subscribed, become a Bars Babe. I would love to have you. Also, let me know your thoughts and opinions on my commentary as well as the episode in the comment section below. Share me with all of your folks near and far, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of my uploads. My banner with all of my social media handles is scrolling along the bottom of the screen. So follow me here, there, and everywhere. And let's get into the episode. Y'all, I thought this episode was cute. However, there is a major topic that was being discussed that I do not feel like discussing anymore. I don't feel like hearing about it. I really don't care. And if you watch the episode and you have also felt the same way, please let me know in the chat below and the comment section below, because what I'm talking about, y'all, is this whole broken friendship mess between Quad and Simone. I'm so over it. Like, for real, I'm really over it. I do not want to hear about it anymore. And I say that because Simone, no matter what Quad does, in my opinion, Simone just doesn't like that lady. I don't know if it stems from an area of jealousy. I shouldn't even say I don't know. I'm like quite sure that's where it stems from. And I just don't think that they are going to be friends that are able to not have that be a constant thing looming over the friendship. Every other season, it's like, just like the title says, it's makeup, then breakup, makeup, then breakup. And I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of seeing it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. They don't ever agree on anything on the dissolution of said friendship. So I don't want to hear it anymore. Anyway, the episode, we got this like quick little snippet of Toya welcoming Eugene home from his work week. They have the usual funny banter between them two, of course, and he asks her what all he missed at the Polo Classic event. And that then turns into a conversation about Heavenly, how she is running for state representative. Eugene also found that to be funny, but at the end of the day, if certain people can be in public office right now, then hey, why can't she? Is pretty much where Eugene's head is at with it. Moving on, speaking of Dr. Heavenly, we finally hear her. We finally see a scene with her, and she's actually talking to Dr. Damon at home about her campaign, firstly and foremost. Oh God, I could not stand that like baby talky voice that she does with him. Oh my goodness, it's like nails on a chalkboard when I hear it, y'all. I can't even lie. But never mind that. The real tea, though, is surrounding their son's arrest. And I know I spoke on it initially when we heard about it last year or whatever, was that earlier this year or last year? I don't know. But I never followed up with it. So maybe if I did, I wouldn't have been surprised when I found out that this happened back in 2022. I thought it happened right when it all became public knowledge. But she did say that she admitted that she blew a gasket. And if you caught
her recap with Carlos King, which I still need to finish. She did say that she gave him the Black Mama third degree, pretty much, and that was evident based on when we find out that he also left the house, hasn't heard from him since. I'm not sure if that means he hasn't spoken to Damon too. I kind of took that as that Damon has spoken to him, I want to say, or he is still communicating with him. Nonetheless, this was an issue that Damon took care of, and because he took care of it, he didn't see the need to tell his wife, I guess, right? And in her recap or whatever, she did say that her and Damon don't talk about everything to one another, so it was never that she was upset with him that he didn't tell her necessarily. Like, she trusted that he took care of it, and that he went about it in such a way as to protect her, which is kind of what a lot of people are saying. And was it just for completely general purposes, or was it because he was trying to protect you from potentially having to answer for this on the show or in public? Because just like she said to him in the scene, they are public figures, yada, yada, yada. So that's kind of the question I'm wondering. I wonder if more questions like that will be asked at the reunion. She also said, but didn't say, that her and her son will be having a conversation this season. So we shall see how that goes. At the end of the day, her thing is, then my kids, I can talk about them if I want to, but you all cannot, point blank. And I understand that, but at the same time, because the nature of the show, I really hope she doesn't think that that's going to happen, as we can see, especially when she has been very vocal about Toya's marriage, how Toya, the dynamic in their household, and all things of that sort. She has lent her opinion and her thoughts and her words to other people in this friend circle multiple times over the years. So I really wish she would speak on and say, or she would say something to the effect of knowing that, hey, it's my chance to be on the hot seat. I wish I would hear her say something more like that, because I feel like that's more realistic than being, quite honestly, a little bit delusional and thinking that this isn't going to be something talked about ad nauseum on the show. It's not realistic, in my opinion. She asks Damon if he could talk to the son, or if he can get the son to talk to her or whatever, and because she misses him and everything, and he's like, no, only God can do that. And I think knowing what we know now about like how she went in, apparently, I'm guessing that's why Damon approached it the way, or responded to that question the way he did, I should say. Moving on, Contessa and Scott, nothing much really with this scene except for them visiting their building that's still very much under construction. They're in between a rock and hard place, still trying to get the building done. The costs are rising. They haven't even touched the outside. And we also find out that Eugene / Toya, they have also expressed interest in doing business in this new facility, which kind of answered my question of what happened to Eugene's old business setup or whatever, where he was giving the what he was doing, like the weight management and stuff like that or whatever. That was just a temporary, like, leased space. That was never supposed to be the permanent location. So I really hope, though, that they are being honest, because this is why people don't like to do business with like friends and family and stuff like that, because it can go south real fast, especially if you're around with somebody like me and you're telling me that it's going to be done in 2 weeks, but 2 weeks really means 2 months. Like, no, that's not cool. So anyway, then Toya and Simone pay a visit to Brandi's office, and we found out Brandi's office, they take care of everything aesthetics wise, injectable procedures, the whole nine. And Brandi also talks about how she has four little kids, which I looked at her Instagram earlier when the cast was revealed to us. And yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to juggle. 4 little kids. But she opened up her med spa, or before she opened her med spa, I should say, she actually worked with Dr. Damon. And Heavenly said in her recap, like I was just referring to, that he was kind of one of the motivators in her opening up her own facility. I want to say Heavenly said something to that effect. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so here they are, Toya and Simone, and they're supposed to be getting some things done or whatever. And unfortunately, while they're there, we hear some really, really bad news. When Toya's phone rings, she finds out that her dog of 18 years has passed away by way of a freak pool accident, possibly, or drowning, I should say. And I felt so sorry. I felt so sad. I felt so bad, because I know not everybody's a dog person or a pet person or whatever, but pets really do become a part of your family. And for her to have that dog for 18 years, that's longer than she's even been a mother to human beings. So that had to be very jarring and very sad, as we saw in this scene. I really appreciated how Brandi asked her what can they do for her. Simone was trying to console her, of course. Unfortunately, they were fresh out of tequila. So yeah, I felt really bad. And that's obviously something that wasn't anticipated. That's just, people talk about reality TV ain't real. Well, I don't think it gets much realer than that. And the dog's name was Bailey's, I guess, after like the liquor, whatever. I thought that was cute. Moving along. So the next thing we see, rightfully so, was a funeral actually for the dog. And Heavenly actually came through. She had a Laura's dog with her. And it's safe to say that she had caught wind of what Toya has been saying, how Toya has been having her name in her mouth at the Polo Classic event specifically. And I was like, Heavenly, see, now you're about to lose all the dog lover votes by saying that she ain't gonna hesitate to come after Toya's dog should she come crazy or whatever. I'm like, see, you didn't need to say that. Dr. Mimi also lost her dog earlier this year, so she can empathize. It was really nice, though, to see all of them come together. And that's one thing I can say about this show, is that they do stick together a little bit harder, as opposed to some of the other like Housewives franchises and stuff like that. They do show up for one another. In these types of situations. I think everybody was there except for Quad, if I'm not mistaken. So Toya and Contessa, they had out because Jackie was hosting some type of event that they didn't get any details on, other than to show up sexy and wear some heels. And I was like, oh my God, not Simone having the same outfit on as the instructor. So they were doing some like sexier type of dancing classes or whatever. And I love Quad. Like, Mama looked good. I was here for her look. I really like Angel's look too. Brandi, she okay. Anyway, Contessa always got to just do something that is just so off the wall. She hit a split, and Heavenly was like, everybody was like, oh, okay. It's just count on Contessa to do something that is just so left field that it'll just leave people stunned. Nonetheless, after they do the dancing and everything, they all sit around, and Jackie whips out some question cards that were full of mess, if you ask me, because I'm not sure how we go from do you look through your husband's phone when he's in the shower to what did she ask? Simone would not have gone to Quad's party regardless of when the invitation was sent. I was like, well, that's supposed to be a true or false? Like, how do we go from that question to that? And that, of course, gets things started between Quad and Simone. And Simone says that's not true. She's like, but when you get an invite the day of, it's giving you really don't want me there. Okay, I can agree with her in on that. But I can also agree with Quad when she says that she invited her to try to like make light of the situation after, you know, Simone took things below the belt. I feel like while talking about her finances and stuff to the ex-wife. A lot of you guys will probably say, oh, you're starting in the middle. Oh, Quad started first. I really don't think she did. Again, y'all, by bringing up the whole traders, Simone should be on traders out of everybody she knows thing. I really don't. I think that was fun shade. I don't think that was truly stemming from a malicious place. You can't sit here and tell me that what Simone did was anything but malicious. Like, you can't tell me that. I'm sorry, but you just can't. So anyway, before we know it, Simone's voice is getting raised like she always does. She's pointing her finger at Quad. Quad's like, don't you be pointing her finger at me. And when I say we went through all of the emotions possible in this scene, y'all, I was like, is this supposed to be a practice run for a new Tyler Perry show or something? Because when we went from yelling to crying to hugging to a Quad mantra to laughing to crying again to hugging to a round of applause, I was like, see, this is why we don't need to keep talking about this, because y'all don't even know how you want to feel. Like, 1 minute is this, 1 minute is that. I'm like, my goodness today, why are we still on this? But before we can even wrap it up, we then get into the Heavenly and Toya of it all, with Toya, or should I say with Heavenly calling out Toya, because like I said earlier, she caught wind that what type of things Toya was saying and speaking on and stuff like that, and she didn't take too kindly to it. And she first approaches the topic about her campaign and her running for state representative, and she's like, so do you even know what a state representative does? And so I was like, I don't give a fuck, but you know, I know it ain't you, pretty much. And I was like, yeah, so yeah, keep my kids' names out of your mouth. And I already told you guys how I feel about this earlier. She can't be surprised that Toya is speaking on it. And even in this moment, Heavenly is the one that brought it up, which only made Toya think like, oh, okay, it's fair game. Then thanks for bringing it up. Let's talk about it. I wouldn't be like that if it was me. I wouldn't talk about it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be talked about, and especially because he is grown. So I could even understand if Heavenly would be like, oh, well, he's not grown, like that's not right, but like he's grown. You've talked about things and personal things in her life before. So in Toya's eyes, fair is fair. Again, I don't operate like that. I also don't be in my frenemies' faces for months at a time out of the year. But anyway, I just and for Heavenly to claim that she has doozies on Toya and her family, I'm like, see, these are the things that unfortunately are going to potentially sway some voters / don't really resonate, because that's not going to do anything but to help your campaign and to help your public image right now. So I felt like that had nothing to do with the subject anyway. I should also have said that this was a split scene because all the guys were also meeting up as well, and they were schooling Shamar, who is Brandi's husband, on, I guess, how to be the perfect husband to a wife that's on the show. And the major thing with this conversation is Curtis still feels some way about how Toya was speaking on him on Watch What Happens Live and saying that he's had his hand on several waists and stuff like that in the group. He should give his hands to himself. Curtis still clearly feels some type of way. And the ethical dilemma here in the conversation is, should you correct your wife when she is, or should you basically put up a united front, be on your wife's side no matter what, whatever? And Eugene seems to think yes, and it really doesn't even concern him because all the things that his wife said are true, and she don't be talking out the side of her neck. And it's clear that Curtis thinks otherwise. I do agree with him when he says like somebody else is going to be in this position come next week, next year, next month. I do believe that it goes around and it comes around in this group. But I feel like, one, it was weird you pulling her onto your lap like that, especially given your past indiscretions. A lot of people are saying, oh, they're not seeing it as such a big deal, him having his hand around Heavenly or whatever, her waist, in a photo that was shared on social media a bit back. A lot of people are saying that's not seen as a big deal because if it was an angel or a quad, it would have been seen as a bigger deal because they're supposed to be, the hot young things or whatever. But I'm like, well, first of all, I don't think that Heavenly's frumpy. I mean, she sometimes the outfits and the wigs don't be where they need to be, but I think she looks amazing for especially for someone her age and whatnot. So I don't really identify with that logic, but I do identify with the fact that if that never happened, Curtis, then we would have Toya would have never had anything to say. It's not like she lied. It did happen, and I need for you and Jackie to understand that what we're seeing is not synonymous with the explanation that you guys are trying to give. I don't know what the reasoning behind it was, but it happened. So I don't see why everybody needs to be so upset, or not everybody. I don't understand why Curtis needs to be so upset right now. And it was clear that Eugene was like, he could care less. We could see where his mind is at with it, and he spoke about it in the confessional too, and to say like she wasn't wrong. She was asked a question and she answered it. Did she maybe, given how things get instigated on the show, how things get drummed up, how there's already enough drama in this group, hey, could Toya maybe not have answered it like that? Could she have just pled the fifth, or said it in a different way, or what have you? Yeah, I'm sure she could have, but overall she didn't lie. So I don't, he could just be mad. But honestly, you're talking about it's not consistent with your character. Your character was already defamed years ago by yourself. So again, I don't care. I really don't. Anyway, let me look over my notes, y'all. They asked Damon about Heavenly's running. Yeah, that was pretty much it. That's pretty much it, y'all. So please let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Please let me know on what you think as far as, was Toya wrong? Was she not? I mean, if you want to talk about Toya and Simone Quad and Simone down below in the comment section, I will, of course, comment back. Of course, I always appreciate all the love and all the engagement I get, but I don't really have anything else to say about that. yeah, y'all, I will catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, see you next one. Bye.